where you realize the moments where you just got to trust your kids. They are not you. They are their own little beings. And it's been fascinating because ever since then, I keep that moment. I have a visual image of him walking into the door in my head. And I keep that moment so strong now. And we've done loads of other things that have been first as a family.
Welcome to the Radiant Mom Rising, the podcast that's all about celebrating and empowering the incredible hardworking mothers out there. I'm your host, Mary Dibble. I'm on a mission to equip you with the tools, strategies, and inspiration you need to conquer the challenges of motherhood and life, all while embracing your radiant self. Join us each week for amazing guest interviews, relatable stories, and a whole lot of fun. We're here to create a vibrant, supportive community where we can be our authentic selves, where no one feels alone, and where we uplift and cheer each other on along this incredible journey of motherhood. So, fellow Radiant Moms, get ready to rise, shine, and conquer the world. Let's grow together, laugh together, and make every week a celebration of the powerful, radiant moms we are. This is Radiant Mom Rising, and you're part of a community where your brilliance shines through. Are you ready to rise with us? Let's get started. In today's episode, we embark on an exhilarating journey with Anna as she shares her awe-inspiring story of courage, resilience, and self-discovery. From overcoming inner doubt to making bold decisions that lead to profound personal growth, Anna's tale will inspire and motivate you to embrace opportunities and trust in your own journey. Our guest, Anna Tayler, uses science and stories to guide self-critical career moms to quieten that inner critic and amplify their confidence so they can start living fearlessly. Join us as we delve into the depths of self-belief, the power of staying true to your values, and transformative impact of empowering yourself and others. Get ready to be uplifted, motivated, and empowered as we navigate through the highs and lows of life's adventures together with Anna. Hope you enjoy.
Today, I have Miss Anna Tayler with me. And I'm so excited. We've been talking about an incredible journey that she has went on recently in her life that I just want her to share with you. Anna, please, first of all, welcome and thank you for being here today. How are you doing?
Oh, I am fabulous, Mary. This is such a treat. Thank you for having me. I feel real privileged to be here.
Well, it's a privilege to have you here. I'm so excited for you to share with the listeners about this incredible journey you've done. So I'm going to let you just kind of go with it and tell us about this amazing decision you made, a little over a year ago to move your family to a whole nother country and just what that's been like, what led you to that, and how it's even led you on a journey of what you do today in your life for your business.
Thank you. Okay. So I think it was probably August 2022. My partner and I, for many years, had been talking about going and taking a year out because my partner's Spanish, I'm English, but we live in Australia. And so we've got two kids who are 3 and 6 now. Oh my days, they're growing up. And we always knew we wanted to go back and spend time and connect our kids to culture, to country, to their family. But what was interesting was how resistant I was. And so the curious part for me was I knew we wanted to do this in my head, but in my heart, I just was really hesitant in making the decision. And so I realized a lot of that was around the inner critic, basically, that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you'll never find a new job, that you won't be able to get paid the same way you got paid, that your kids won't adapt, all those things that just sort of, act as barriers. And so it's been an interesting process going through all of that and the things that I've learned along the way that helped us to make the decision to take the year out. So I think, here's an interesting story. So we lined it all up. So we made the decision. We committed to it. We're like, okay. In February 2023, we're going. This is it. We put all our budgets in place, worked out all the schoolings. It worked with the school terms. And I'd even worked out with my job at the time. It's like, okay, great. Can I have leave without pay? And I just got a big promotion to a senior manager role. And they were like, yeah. And then when it came to actually saying, yep, I want to do this, they were like, no, you have to quit your job. You're not going to be able to do this. And so then I was like, oh crap, because being the main financial breadwinner, I was like, financial security. And then obviously as well, there's a whole piece around, I didn't have the confidence in myself and my abilities and my worth to go, that's fine. You can screw your job. It doesn't matter. This is way more important. And so what was interesting, we then had 2 or 3 months of just turmoil and mess and stress and doubt. And it was really fascinating because then we made the decision that, nope, it's okay. We won't go. We'll just go for a couple of months in the summer. We'll keep everything as it is. And we made that decision and we sat with it. And it was fascinating how my whole body and Mara's whole body just was so miserable. It was like it was rejecting it. Like you just know something like head, heart and soul is not right. So then after doing a bit of digging and talking to a few people, and actually the most helpful thing that we did was go back to our values and actually reassess our values. And we looked at our values and it was about adventure. It was about curiosity. It was about play. It was about connection. And so we went back to those. And when I looked at those, and I remember a really good friend of mine was like, Anna, what do you want your story to be? And I was like, oh, Talia, that was a great question. And so I was like, boom. So going back to the values and thinking about that whole, like, your eulogy piece, what do you want your life to be like? I suddenly realized that it was totally my inner critic and the doubts and things I had about myself that was stopping us. So we're like, sod it. Let's screw this. This is too exciting. We've got too good an opportunity. The kids are going to thrive. It's going to be okay. We'll work through things together. Let's bloody do it. That's what we did. That's pretty much how we made the decision to take the leap and give it a go.
That's so courageous and so powerful that you were able to actually get through that and in a way that you ended up being true to yourself and making that decision. Because that's scary for a lot of us when it comes to making those big decisions to realize that we know we want it, we value it. And yet we don't, like you say, we have inner critics that just doubt us to make us think, well, gosh, but what if it doesn't work out? Or what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't make it? Oh my goodness. So I love it. That's such a bravery and courageous. So tell us like what happened. And also I want to point out about your story that I love is how, when you made that decision in the first place, things were working out and then bam, you kind of hit this road, like this block. And that happens along the way. Sometimes when you make that decision, it's like things do start working out, but there are those times where you also run into this typical obstacles that kind of test you and help you to learn and grow more. So I think that's incredible. So tell us how things kept going in that direction once you made that decision to like, okay, let's go, let's do this, regardless of how you felt, regardless of what things were doing. How did that end up for you?
Yeah, that's such a great observation in terms of point A to point B in our plans never quite go as smoothly as we think it will go, right? There's always lumps and bumps and twists and turns and ups and downs. And actually, that's a really good point in reflection. That was our big bump. Like it was so big. We were like, can we see over the top of this? And it was interesting when we were like, no, we can't. Like we kind of gave up. We said, no, we can't do this. This is too much. It's too hard. But I think what helped to move forward was actually listening for me, I'm quite over analytical. I'm an overthinker. I'm in my head quite a lot. But what was fascinating was actually just doing a bit more mindfulness and tuning into my body and realizing that my whole body, it was vibrating in a way that was like so unhappy. So I think that was probably the biggest catalyst, was actually tuning into that and going, oh, hang on, this isn't right. And then, like we said, reaching out and meeting people. But what was fascinating, so when we made the decision to actually do it and leave, I called up work and was like, okay, fine, I'm going to leave the job. This is way more important. Thanks very much. See you later. They were like, oh, Anna, sorry. I didn't mean to make you make that decision. Actually, we'll happily keep your job open for the year. Don't worry about it. You can take leave without pay. Just like after like 2 months of like stress and like tensions and problems, they're like, oh, sorry, didn't realize that was going to be a problem for you. And so that was interesting. But then what has been curious actually, so what that taught me was the power of actually living your values and how messy living your values are. I think it's so complicated and difficult, but when you do live them and they're true to who you are, the decisions you make, even if they're not the easy decisions, always feel good. And I felt so empowered. And it was probably the biggest thing in the last couple of years that I did that sort of prove to myself that I can do things. I can do scary things, because I made a decision that was so uncomfortable, which was to leave a job, which I didn't think I'd be able to do again. And it worked out not even great. It worked out amazingly. So that was a big learning, was like, stick to who you are and what matters to you. And the right things will open, the right doors will open. So it was good. I knew that, but I'd never felt it. And that was that time I was like, oh, knowing, doing, gap, tick. Felt that one.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. You're right. That's the power of that, and being true and understanding your values. It's so beautiful to meet people like you. And there's so much evidence of this in this world with so many people you see as well. But it's even more privileged to meet person who does decide in the end to be true to those values and to not listen to that. Because, our brains are wired to think it's protecting us, to keep us safe, to keep us in our comfort zones, because it's the easy way. It's the safe way. And that's why a lot of us don't get to really experience life in the way we're meant to, and the way that's fun and exciting and fulfilling, is because we don't want to take that leap because we're scared of the other side of it. And it's wonderful though when you can get to a point of building that bravery and that courageousness of just jumping in with faith, blind faith, and how things work out. Because yet here you are, you thought you ran on this, like right there is a perfect and even better example, because it's like, yeah, you had this roadblock that you thought of, like you could lose your job over this. And then you still were like, after suffering a little bit, bless your heart, with that decision, because it happened. You still were like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. And then bam, it still worked out for you. And that's awesome.
Attention, hardworking moms. Are you ready to kickstart your journey to a thriving online business? Introducing Learn and Earn Profits Online Max, a groundbreaking digital resale course that's revolutionizing success. Learn how to create your own funnel and sell this exact course, pocketing a whopping 100% of the profits. Yes, you heard that right, 100% yours. Lipo Max is an enhanced platform packed with incredible modules and valuable insights designed to elevate your online business game. Don't miss this chance to join a supportive community where hard work meets exceptional opportunities. Say goodbye to the hassle of creating courses from scratch. Lipo Max does the heavy lifting for you, empowering you to learn and earn in an environment tailored for your success. Act fast and secure your spot in this game-changing program, and set yourself up for a prosperous life. Join the Lipo Max community today. Click on the link in the show notes to learn more, or contact me today with any questions.
So what's been your experience with this since you guys actually made the move?
It's been really interesting because there was a plot twist, obviously, as every good Disney/Pixar movie has. So 6 weeks into our adventure, the four of us were in England, and oh my gosh, it rained every day for about 4 weeks, and it was just horrendous. And I got an email from work, and it was a very formal one. I was like, oh dang. Anyway, found out that my role and 25 other roles in my organization had been made redundant. So after all that drama, I was like, oh, marvelous. So then cue another few weeks of like, oh, what do we do? Do I take a lower paid role? Do we take the redundancy? Like, they were both obviously good, not bad problems, but just not what we were expecting at the start of our adventure, when we were trying to get used to everything and the kids were getting used to everything, and it was dark and cold and rainy. So that was fascinating. But again, what was interesting about that was I found it easier to make the decision to take the redundancy and leave the organization because of that ability to have had time and space. So actually stepping away from the work and the job, gosh, I realized how much meaningless meaning I'd been making in the role just to keep motivated, and how draining it was and how exhausted I was. So that was a big learning. And then another thing, like having the 2 kids, like again, it's fascinating, listening to your inner voice. So we moved to Spain, lived with the in-laws, the in-laws and my partner and me and my 2 kids. And so we enrolled them into a Spanish school. And we're really lucky that Maro has been chatting to them in Spanish ever since they were born. So they understand it all, but they have never spoken it. And so I remember the first day we walked Teo to his first day of school. And I remember just the whole time like having elephants in my belly and feeling my throat tightening and like just that feeling of anxiety, but trying so hard not to project it onto him. But because he's, he was 5 years old, going to this brand new school with no friends, not speaking the language. And oh my gosh, I will not forget the moment I saw him walk in there, and he was nervous. You could see it. He was a bit scared, but just, he did it. And like, I looked at him and I think I just bawled all the way home, because I just looked at him and realized how much I need to trust him. Like when you realize the moments where you just got to trust your kids. They are not you. They are their own little beings. And it's been fascinating because ever since then, I keep that moment. I have a visual image of him walking into the door in my head, and I keep that moment so strong now. And we've done loads of other things that have been first as a family. Like a dream I've had of mine is to do a cycle family holiday where we just pack panniers on our bikes and we cycle from point to point. And we made that happen. And it was incredible. And Teo was 5 years old. He was on his own bike with his little horn. He doesn't have keys on his horn or stabilizers. And he would cycle up and down these hills, and we'd go on busy roads, and I'd always just there be like feeling anxious and nervous for him, but he just had it. So I think another big, beautiful learning this year has taught me is about just trust. And like by giving more trust, better things happen. Like I see them flourish. I feel myself calm down and relax. It's like this beautiful cycle, like trust breeds trust. And I've also started trusting myself more. So that's been an interesting insight as well from this experience, which I'm very grateful for.
I'm so grateful for you for that. That's so important because it is. It's so beautiful. It's important. As parents, we have this tendency sometimes to be like overprotective and afraid all the time, but you don't realize that energy you're projecting is only going to actually make that a reality a lot of times. I think that's a powerful thing I've recently learned is that, the laws of the universe, and now like what you put out, you will get in return. So if you put out hate, you're going to get hate. If you put out love, you're going to get love. If you put out fear, you're going to get things that end up being fearful for you. So it's like, we don't want our kids to have that because we have such an influence on them right now, especially at these ages. So it's great because not only are you teaching him trust, but look at that. Through him, he's teaching you. Like, Mom, it's okay. You can trust yourself without him even realizing he's doing that by just setting an example. I think that's really neat. Actually, I love it. And I'm glad to see that you've learned to have that trust in yourself because as I'm sure you're experiencing, the more you trust in yourself, the more you trust and listen to that, the better things happen for you overall. Even though it's not always easy, it does happen.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's incredible. That's incredible. And so where are you guys at now on your journey with this?
So we have just had a wonderful summer. So yeah, we've just been embracing our values of adventure and play and curiosity. And we've just been sort of traveling around, exploring new places and spaces and just being present. I think something else I'm grateful for this year and this time in this space is just, again, what your kids teach you, right? I just love how present kids are in the moment. Oh my God. Like they don't care like what's happening for dinner. They don't mind that, we've got to go get on a plane in 3 hours because right now all they want to do is play Lego and make puzzles. And I'm like, oh, I love that. So again, it's been amazing just feeling more present. And with that presence has come a real calming of my mind and my energy and just sort of a quieter contentment, which has been beautiful and something I've never really made space to experience. So that's been amazing. So where are we at now? We've only got a couple of months left, actually. So they're in school. Artai, our youngest, joined school. So school starts like crazy early here, like 3 years old and they're off to school. Mm-hmm. So he's embraced that and he gets to go with his big bro. So he's happy as Larry. Mara and I'm just working now, obviously without being employed. I'm working on my business and we're just sort of seeing through the seasons and watching the seasons turn and just enjoying this time and space that we've got until Christmas when we go to my family's house in England because they do it right. We do Christmas well in England. We had to give the kids a proper Christmas experience. So they're off and we're off there over Christmas. And then that's it. Then we'll be trekking back to Australia.
That sounds wonderful. I mean, and I think this is so neat because I think there's so many out there who would kill to have certain experiences with their children and things like that. So to put yourself in a place where you get to have that and get those experiences was so beautiful. And what I think is it's really neat about your story is the way things happen with your work has now led you into a place where you're like, I can do something for myself. I can create something that's meaningful for me that you can utilize what you've learned, your experiences, what you're working on to now give back and be like, let me help other women. And so tell us a little bit about what you decided as far as your business and what have you decided to do, how you help your clients, if you don't mind to share a little bit about that.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, it's still evolving. It's funny. All my work has been in culture, leadership, and in HR and organizational development. So it's been a lot of group work. And I just didn't realize how stressful I found those dynamics. And so I had, that knowing, doing gap. It's been interesting just tuning into what actually I want and listening to my body versus what I think I should do. And so what I've landed on is something that it just makes my heart sing. And that's working with small groups of women. And we've just finished our first Fearlessly You coaching course where 5 women and myself, we went through together this amazing experience. And in essence, it's around helping sort of women who have got a real high inner critic or self-doubt, the overthinkers, helping them to quiet that inner critic and then step in and amplify their brilliance, because it breaks my heart. Like, it just breaks my heart. And I appreciate it because I used to be this person that I'm sure many people can relate to. Just these amazing humans, these amazing women who we meet so often, who have so much love and energy and time that they give to others and just radiate amazingness. But inside, it's like they're living with dementors from Harry Potter. And they would never believe that how we see them is how they don't feel that. And that is not okay. So this program really sort of works with a small group of women. And I love it because the best part of this program is the fact we're doing it in a small group and just people being honest and real, taking off the mask that they've been wearing because they feel they need to be a certain person. And that chameleon feeling where you pretend to be, well, you are who you think other people want you to be, and to the point where you kind of lose yourself and you're just like, actually, I don't know who I am anymore. Yeah. So yes, that's what I've been working on. And it's been a total joy, lots of learnings. And now just refining that for people in that space, for women in that space.
Oh, that's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Of course, with moms, I feel like that's the same thing. We tend to sacrifice ourselves so much that we lose a little bit about who we are and what it is that we really want to do for ourselves outside of being a mom. And even believing that we can, because we like a lot of moms. I think what I love about you, you're like me. We have those young kids and we can easily be like, oh, maybe when they're older, then I can have a time. No, you got to do it now. There's nothing like starting out, even if it's baby steps, because everything you do now will affect you later. And it's it takes time to grow things anyway. So it's good to just do, show up and believe in yourself and know that you will flourish and, when the time is right. And it's beautiful. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy to hear that you're on this incredible journey, that you had to have these incredible experiences with your kids.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I love your presence and generosity and heart. It just shines through and it's just very authentic. So I love this time. Thanks, Mary.
Oh, God, I love it too. Thank you so much. And I think you're an amazing woman. I think anyone would be absolutely lucky to work with you, to get into your little intimate programs. We'll be sure to share all her information in the show notes. Anyone who's interested in getting involved and getting rid of that inner critic that we all suffer with. It is a thing. It's so beautiful to have that support and to grow together. Yes, we'll make sure that we get you connected with anybody who's interested. I can't thank you enough, Anna, for coming on here and sharing your journey with us. And I wish you all the best. I want to get an update too with how the Christmas goes for you guys in England and everything. So I'll be having to share to update everybody about that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks for being on my show. I appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Anna is such a sweetheart. Here are the key takeaways from today's episode. You have the power to make bold decisions in your life, even when faced with uncertainty or doubt. Trust in your abilities and have the courage to pursue your dreams, just like Anna did when she moved her family to another country. You might struggle with self-doubt and negative self-talk, but remember that you have the strength to silence that inner critic. Take the time to acknowledge your doubts, but don't let them hold you back from taking action and seizing opportunities. Your values are your guiding principles. When making decisions, align them with what truly matters to you. By staying true to your values, you'll find clarity and confidence to navigate through challenges and obstacles. Believe in yourself and trust your instincts. Just as Anna learned to trust her children and herself, you can cultivate trust in your own abilities and in those around you. Trusting in yourself and others can lead to incredible growth and opportunities. Don't get caught up in worrying about the future or dwelling on past mistakes. Instead, focus on embracing the present moment. Find joy and fulfillment in the journey, just as Anna did when she learned to be more present with her family. You have the ability to empower yourself and those around you. Whether it's overcoming self-doubt or supporting others on their journey, you can make a positive impact. Take inspiration from Anna's coaching program and strive to uplift and empower others in your community. Be sure to check out Anna's Facebook group, Fearlessly You Tribe. Be sure to also share this episode with anyone you feel would benefit from listening. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in with me each week. Please be sure to leave me a review. Your feedback is much appreciated. Or leave me a 5-star rating on Spotify if you feel that this has brought you some true value in your life. Be sure to join me for my free workshop coming up in May, where I help mom entrepreneurs get the guidance and genuine support you deserve as you take action towards creating the successful, thriving business and life you desire. You can sign up for free Momtrepreneur Mastery Guide and get on our waitlist to stay updated on details. I am excited to help you get that jump start and the motivation you need to push through the obstacles and challenges and work towards the goals you set. Let us radiant moms continue to rise and live life to the fullest. Until next time, much love.